Hey, it's Valentine's Day coming up, so I'm going to show you another very sexy bass lick. I'll see you inside the lesson. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and today I'm showing you another very sexy bass lick. This time it's inspired by the legendary Marcus Miller, specifically the track Run for Cover. So first of all, I'd love to ask you, what's your favorite Marcus Miller bass line? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to find out. So guys, just before we hit the lesson content today, I want you to know there's a completely free PDF which will show you everything we're covering in today's lesson, written out in standard notation and tab. You can grab your completely free copy by clicking the link in the description below, and we'll send it to your email inbox. So there are two elements to the bass line you just heard there. The first is the groove and the second is the fill. The groove I'm going to write out in the free PDF which comes with this lesson, because today I want to specifically focus on the fill. Everything in this bass line is in the key of G minor, and that's the most important thing. So make sure you get the G minor arpeggio or G minor 7 arpeggio under your fingers first of all, because that will really help. So just to go over that, that is G, B flat, D, F, and the octave G like that. So make sure you have that, because that will give you the harmony that we're working with. So this is what the fill sounds like. So what I'm going to do is split this 2-bar bass fill into 4 phrases. So the first phrase starts on an F at the 10th fret on the G string. And this is how it goes. Now this is a really interesting phrase which is borrowed from the legendary Marcus Miller track Run for Cover, or the concepts behind it anyway. So the thing about this is articulation is absolutely key, because if we take the articulation out, we'll end up with this really square bass line which sounds like this. But what we can do is we can put these really super cool slides into it which sound like this. So what I'm going to do is just take that apart very slowly, note by note, so you know where the slides are. So we play the first 2 notes, then we slide from the F back to the E at the 9th fret, so the first 2 notes, and then we play the E to slide into the D, and then we play the D again, and that lands us on the C like that. So, and the fingering I recommend doing for that is 3, back to a 3 there, and then catch the D on a 1, and then slide from the D back to the C on a 1. So the whole phrase sounds like this. Okay, this may be a little bit tricky because there's some coordination in there to begin with, but it's really worth working on, because it's a great sound to get under your fingers. All of the articulation and the slides is written out in the free PDF, so make sure you take it apart note by note so you can see exactly what's happening. So this is the second phrase. And this is a really classic bluesy sounding bass line which sounds fantastic. So what we're doing here is we're playing an open G, and then we're going from the minor third, which is the B flat, to the major third like that. So we end up with this. And I would hammer on the B flat to the B natural. And then we play the G at the 5th fret on the D string, and then to the F like that. So really strong sound. For me, whenever we use major and minor thirds and 7ths within our bass lines, we get great sounding lines, because those are the guide tones which make up the harmony to the chords. So there's really a really rich sound inside there. Then there are just 2 notes to finish off the phrase, which is a D at the 5th fret, and then back to the F at the 3rd fret on the D string like that. So the whole of that second phrase is this. So let's put that together with the first phrase, so we end up with this. Okay, it may be a little bit tricky going from that C to the open string because it breaks the pattern up, but it's really worth working on. Now let's go into the third phrase, which sounds like this. Again. So what I'm doing there is another great bluesy sound. So this is from the blues scale. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the C sharp to the D. So the sharpened fourth to the fifth, like that. So I'm going to hammer that on to the F there. And then I'm going to play the D, but very quickly slide back to the C, like that. So I start off with the fifth fret and slide into the third. So it sounds like this. And again. So let's put the first three phrases together. So guys, if you're enjoying this lesson, I'd love to ask you to subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel, because we release a bass guitar lesson designed especially for beginner to intermediate players and those looking to move their playing onto the advanced levels every single week. There's a red button somewhere around this screen which you can subscribe and hit the red bell so you'll be the first to know when a new lesson goes live. Now there's the fourth and final phrase, which sounds like this. And again. So let's take that apart note by note. So we start off with a B flat at the third fret to a G. So the first two notes. And then we start bouncing off the open E string like this. So what we do is we play an open E and then we play an F. So that's the first bit. And then we play an open E again and hit the F sharp like that. So, and then we play an open E again and hit the G like that. This is a really, really effective tool to add speed into your playing. You'll hear players like Jaco Pastorius bouncing off open strings all of the time. And the great thing is when you play them at speed, they're almost like a percussive effect and the harmony doesn't matter so much. So just to finish this off, there's one more little articulation right on that fourth beat, the final note. When we hit that G, what I'd love to do is slide up and back down. This is just a really, really cool effect because it's kind of the antithesis of all of the fast notes we've just played, and a slide always sounds fantastic on the bass guitar. So the whole of the last phrase sounds like this. So let's put the whole phrase together now so you can hear how each of those four chunks stack up. So that's it. So there's only one thing left to do, and that's to have a jam on it. I'm going to play the original groove in G minor, and then you'll hear the fill up the top end, and then I'm going to start to improvise a little bit so you can hear where these ideas can go. Guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you download the free PDF so you can see both the groove that I played earlier in the lesson and the fill that we covered in the lesson written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you're really looking to push your bass guitar playing, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. This is a full step-by-step program designed especially for the beginner to intermediate bass player so they can play the songs and bass lines that they love. I'd love you to check it out and take it for a spin. There's a link in the description below where you can join completely free for 14 days. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com and I will catch you next week.